Welcome to the Post-it Note Q&A from the IPPN Conference 2017. Over the last 5 videos, I've answered all the questions were put on Post-it notes at my talk. Here is the final one, the 6th part. So we had 30 questions in total, and thank you very much for all of them. I'm going to answer them, as I said, as quickly as possible in these videos before I decide then to create longer articles with a bit more information, because obviously it's very hard to give each question less than a minute each. Anyway, we'll do our best with the 5 last questions here, some of them very interesting, and we'll see how we go. So first of all, will we refurbish the computer room or invest in iPads, tablets, laptops on trolleys to go into classrooms? Again, this would depend on the context of your school. For me, it would be all about the trolleys, because we need every room that we have, and having a computer room, I would suggest, is possibly unnecessary anymore. Bringing the computers to the children rather than bringing the children to the computers is probably the best thing to do. However, some schools may have the room, and they may use it actually for evening classes, which to build up some money to keep the room going. It depends on your context, but given that you're only using it for the children, I'd go with trolleys. Interactive whiteboards, worth the expense to replace or manage with a whiteboard and projector? I kind of think the day of the interactive whiteboard is dead. Personally, I know that's that many people disagree with me. I just feel we've moved beyond that. It was our entry into the world of technology, and nowadays, yes, it's good to have a big screen that people can focus on, but bringing children up to it and writing on it, I just don't think it's necessary anymore. Look, some people would argue. I mean, I think the only good way to use an interactive whiteboard is as a station for a few kids to be working at. But is that worth the extra expense? I don't know. I don't think so. Pitfalls of Facebook pages. Would love to know something. Oh, okay, so the pitfall of Facebook pages. So we have 6 questions. That was a cheat. There was only supposed to be 1 question per post note. Pitfalls of Facebook pages is that you will have the potential for people to say nasty stuff. The way of preventing that is to have a good set of rules and stick to them. We've had that policy in place, and have a look at onshot.net for that. However, I'm just going to focus a bit more on this one about coding. Should we be doing it in school, and what training should we have for teaching kids? Look, this is a big this is Richard Bruton's big thing, where he wants to turn children into coding monkeys and pretending and saying that coding is the language of the future. Look, if we teach coding, should we teach plumbing? Should we teach driving? What should we be teaching? I think we should be teaching thinking. Coding is just simply breaking a problem into tiny little parts, and you can teach anyone to code, but a good coder will think about how to break problems up. This is what we should be doing, and I would disagree with Richard Bruton and all the and the various agencies who have interests in getting people coding, that we should be teaching coding. I know they're doing it in the UK, but I really think if we can get the children to think, and certainly teach some coding, but to integrate it within our subjects, and not necessarily just maths, in all aspects, I think it would be well worth it, but certainly not in isolation. I do think it's a good idea, though, for teachers to get familiar with it, because I do think it is something that we will be using as one of our methodologies, one of our resources in the not so distant future. Coding is a language. I've argued that coding may become the second most used language in Ireland, putting the Gaeilge into 3rd place. But I'm only half joking when I say that. Moving down, what exactly should our children be able to do IT wise by the end of primary school, and how can we develop our teaching skills to suit? It's a really, really philosophical question, I suppose. They should be comfortable using a computer to do the jobs that they have to do. I think being able to do things that you wouldn't quicker than you wouldn't necessarily be able to do without a computer, being able to communicate, being able to collaborate. I don't think we should be teaching them the skills. I think a lot of the time they probably have them already. It's a tough question. I'd probably have to think a little bit more about it, and I will do for a bigger article. But I don't necessarily know whether it's our job to give children IT skills. But then again, I suppose in a way it is as well. I'm going to have to think about it and leave that as a I don't know. And then the final question, which is, if a school was built in 2014, will we get nothing? And this refers to the ICT grant that came this year, which promised every school would be getting a grant over the next 5 years. And unfortunately, the bad news is you're absolutely right. If your school is 3 years or younger, you don't get the ICT grant. I have no idea why. I think it's shocking. My school is one such school that won't be getting the grants this year. We will get it next year because our school will be 4 years old. But I don't know. I have no idea why they decided this, because there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason for it. Someone must have just picked an arbitrary figure. And I've asked the ICT policy unit why, and they didn't really have an answer really either. So that's really my answer for you. Thank you for all the technology questions. I hope I've answered them as quickly as I possibly could. And I will, as I said, be writing more about these questions. Some of them will require a lot more thought. But in the meantime, I hope this is enough for you, and you can look at onshaw.net over the next few months while I try and answer these questions in more detail. Thanks very much.